Razia was born to the Delhi Sultan Shamsuddin Iltutmish, a Turkic slave Mamluk of his predecessor Qutb-ud-Din Aybak. Razia's mother, Turkan Khatun, was a daughter of Qutb-ud-Din Aybak and the chief wife of Iltutmish. Razia was the eldest daughter of Iltutmish, and probably his firstborn child. Iltutmish had groomed his eldest son Nasiruddin Mahmud to be his successor, but this son died unexpectedly in 1229. According to historian Minhaj-i-Siraj, Iltutmish believed his other sons were absorbed in pleasurable activities, and would be incapable of managing the state affairs after his death. While leaving for his Gwalior campaign in 1231, Iltutmish left his daughter Razia as in charge of Delhi's administration. Razia performed her duties so well that after returning to Delhi, Iltutmish decided to name her as his successor. Iltutmish ordered his officer Mushrif-i Mamlakat Tajul Mulk Mahmud Dabir to prepare a decree naming Razia as the heir apparent. When his nobles questioned this decision on the basis that he had surviving sons, Iltutmish replied that Razia was more capable than his sons. However, after Iltutmish's death, the nobles appointed his son Runuddin Firuz as the new king. Possibly, during his last years, Iltutmish had agreed to appoint a son as his successor. This is suggested by the fact that after becoming seriously ill, he had recalled Runuddin from Lahore to Delhi. Another possibility is that the legend of Iltutmish nominating Razia as his successor is a false story circulated by Razia's supporters after her ascension. Minhaj is the only near-contemporary source that narrates this legend, and he did not witness the events or the alleged decree himself. He was in Gwalior at the time, and did not return to Delhi until 1238. Runuddin was not an able ruler, and left the control of administration to his mother Shah Turkan. The duo's blinding and execution of Iltutmish's popular son Qutb-ud-Din, combined with Shah Turkan's high-handedness, led to rebellions by several nobles, and even the Wazir Prime Minister Nizam-ul-Mulk Junaidi joined the rebels. This situation became worse, when the Turkic origin slave officers close to Runuddin planned killings of the Sultanate's Tazak non-Turkic officers. This led to the murders of several important Tazak officers, including Junaidi's son Zia-ul-Mulk and Tajul-Mulk Mahmud, who had drawn up the decree declaring Razia as the heir apparent. While Runuddin marched towards Khurram to fight the rebels, Shah Turkan planned to execute Razia in Delhi. At a congregational prayer, Razia instigated the general public against Shah Turkan. A mob then attacked the royal palace and detained Shah Turkan. Several nobles and the army pledged allegiance to Razia, and placed her on the throne, making her the first female Muslim ruler in South Asia. Runuddin marched back to Delhi, but Razia sent a force to arrest him. He was imprisoned and probably executed on the 19th of November 1236, having ruled for less than 7 months. Razia's ascension to the throne of Delhi was unique not only because she was a woman, but also because the support from the general public was the driving force behind her appointment. According to the 14th-century text Futuhus Salatin, she had asked the people to depose her if she failed to meet their expectations. Acknowledged her authority. Razia's first military campaign directed at non-rebels was an invasion of Ranthambore, whose Chahamana ruler had asserted his sovereignty after Iltutmish's death. Razia directed Malik Qutb-ud-Din Hassan Guri to march to Ranthambore. He was able to evacuate the Turkic nobles and officers from the fort, but was unable to subjugate the Chahamanas. The Chahamanas, in alliance with the Mewadis, captured a large part of present-day northeastern Rajasthan, and carried out guerrilla war around Delhi. Razia also sent a force to reassert Delhi's control over Gwalior, but this campaign had to be aborted. During Razia's reign, the Shias revolted against the Sultanate, but the rebellion was suppressed. In a major incident, the Shia Karmatians carried out an attack on the Jama Masjid in Delhi. The Karmatian leader Nuruddin Turk had earlier condemned the Sunni Shafi'i and Hanafi doctrines, and had gathered nearly 1,000 supporters from Delhi, Gujarat, Sindh, and the Doab. On the 5th of March 1237, he and his supporters entered the mosque, and started killing the Sunnis assembled there for the Friday prayers, before being attacked by the citizens. In 1238, Malik Hassan Karluf, the former Khwarezmian governor of Ghazni, faced a threat from the Mongols, and sent his son to Delhi, probably to seek a military alliance against the Mongols. Razia received the prince courteously, assigned him the revenues of Baron for his expenses, but refused to form an alliance against the Mongols. The nobles who supported Razia intended her to be a figurehead, but she increasingly asserted herself. For example, her initial coins were issued with her father's name, but by 1237-1238, she had started issuing coins solely in her own name. Isami mentions that initially, she observed Purda, a screen separated her throne from the courtiers and the general public, and she was surrounded by female guards. However, later, she started appearing in public dressed in traditional male attire, wearing a cloak kaba and a hat kula. She rode on elephants through the streets of Delhi, making public appearances like the earlier sultans. Razia's increasing assertiveness and her appointment of non-Turkic people to important posts created resentment among the Turkic nobles. The post of Emir-i-Akbar had previously been held by officers of Turkic origin, and Yakut was of Abyssinian origin, therefore, Razia's Turkic officers resented this appointment. Chroniclers such as Isami, Sirhindi, Badani, Firishta, and Nizamuddin Ahmad attribute Razia's intimacy with Yakut as a major cause of her downfall. In 1238–1239, Malik Izzuddin Kabir Khan Ayaz, the governor of Lahore, rebelled against Razia, and she marched against him, forcing him to flee to Sodra. Because the area beyond Sodra was controlled by the Mongols, and because Razia continued to pursue him, Izzuddin was forced to surrender and accept Razia's authority once again. Razia treated him leniently. She took away the Iqta of Lahore from him, but assigned him the Iqta of Multan, which Iltutmish had assigned to Ikhtiaruddin Karakash Khan Idajan. Razia had recalled Ikhtiaruddin Idajan, a Turkic slave purchased by Iltutmish, to her court in Delhi, and made him Emir-i-Hajib. She had also bestowed favors upon another slave of Iltutmish, Ikhtiaruddin Altunia, by assigning him first the Iqta of Baran, and then, the Iqta of Tabarinda. However, these two officers conspired with other Turkic officers to overthrow her, while she was away on the Lahore campaign. Razia arrived in Delhi on 3 April 1240, and learned that Altunia had rebelled against her in Tabarinda. Unaware that other nobles in Delhi had joined Altunia in conspiring against her, Razia marched towards Tabarinda 10 days later. At Tabarinda, the rebel forces killed her loyalist Yakut, and imprisoned her. According to Manhaj, Razia ruled for 3 years, 6 months, and 6 days. When the news of Razia's arrest reached Delhi, the rebel nobles there appointed Muizzuddin Bahram, a son of Iltutmish, on the throne. He formally ascended the throne on 21 April 1240, and the nobles pledged allegiance to him on 5 May 1240. The nobles expected the new king to be a figurehead, and intended to control the affairs of the state through the newly created office of Naib-i-Mamlakat, equivalent to regent, which was assigned to Ikhtiaruddin Idajan. However, the new king had Ikhtiaruddin Idajan assassinated within 1 to 2 months. After deposing Razia, the nobles at Delhi had distributed important offices and iqtas among themselves, ignoring claims of Ikhtiaruddin Altunia, who had arrested Razia at Tabarinda. After Idajan's death, Altunia lost all hope of realizing any benefits from Razia's overthrow, and decided to ally with her. Razia also saw this as an opportunity to win back the throne, and married Altunia in September 1240. The two were supported by some other disgruntled Turkic nobles, including Malik Karakash and Malik Salari. The grave of Razia is located at Mohalla Bulbuli Khana near Turkmen Gate in Old Delhi. The 14th century traveler Ibn Battuta mentions that Razia's tomb had become a pilgrimage center. A dome had been built over it, and people sought blessings from it. Razia's grave is said to have been built by her successor and half-brother Bahram. Another grave, said to be of her sister Shazia, is located beside her grave. Razia was a devotee of the Sufi saint Shah Turkmen Bayabani, and the place where she is buried is said to be his hospice Kanka. Today, the site is largely neglected. The Archaeological Survey of India performs annual maintenance to it, but has been unable to beautify it further because it is surrounded by illegal construction, and is approachable only through a narrow, congested lane. In the late 20th century, the local residents constructed a mosque near it. A ruined building in Kaithal is purported to be the site of Razia's original grave. Coins of Razia are found in silver and bilan. One gold coin of Bengal style is also known. Silver tankas were issued from both Bengal, Lakhnauti, and Delhi. Initially she issued coins from Delhi in the name of her father Iltutmish, citing the title Nasrat, i.e. female title of Nasir.